Consider writing as sculpting. You're not perfecting marble with each chisel strike, but this is why protecting your writing time isn't selfish, it's essential. You're not just guarding minutes, you're defending a ritual becomes a gateway, transporting you from scattered digital world to the focused realm of creativity. You're listening to jesse.blog. I am back from a 3-month sabbatical, an amazing benefit automaticians receive every 5 years. I spent a significant portion of that time reading and writing, distraction-free writing, that is. After some accounting, I put the count north of 100,000 words. Some went towards a thriller I'm writing, others went to journal entries, reflections on what I'm reading, and love notes to family and friends. Writing for me has become a way for me to better understand the universe and my place in it. It also has the added benefit of helping me to retain information, clarify arguments, and explore ideas. Writing has also become my primary form of artistic expression, framing my path as an agent of the infinite, as Pressfield says. His quote, "We were put here on earth to act as agents of the infinite, to bring into existence that which is not yet, but what will be through us." That's from his book, The War of Art. Heading into my sabbatical traveling, the writer's road was treacherous, rocky, distracting, and reflective of my own self-doubt. Even now, halfway done with my first novel, I'm still terrified to sit down and write, yet every day I cut myself open and spill my guts out onto the page. At first, my sabbatical goal was to finish the book. As I progressed, I found a better goal for myself. Instead of fixating on word counts and story beats, I refocused my efforts on building a routine and then a ritual, sitting down every single day and putting words on a page no matter how I felt and regardless of my motivational levels. While I have yet to achieve a 30-day writing streak, the days where I fail to put something down are growing in distance from one another. And in the end, this is the best thing I could hope to achieve, and so I thought I'd share what I learned. Let's talk about distraction-free writing as a practical guide. Why you want to eliminate distractions. When you're truly focused, distinct brain patterns emerge. The frontoparietal control network and default mode network desynchronize, creating a neurological state fundamentally different from our usual scattered attention. There's more on that in the link from the article. This is neuroscience from a layman, and since you're probably not a neuroscientist, although if you are, comment below and let me know how I did. Let's come up from the depths a bit. In our hyper-connected age, we become unwitting participants in what researcher Linda Stone calls continuous partial attention. Never fully present, always partially elsewhere. Each interruption doesn't merely steal seconds, it fragments our ability to think deeply, forcing our brains into perpetual shallow processing. The cost is profound. Studies show we work on tasks for only 12 minutes before interruption, and then require over 23 minutes to regain focus. For writers whose work demands sustained imagination and deep thought, this fragmentation is creative death by 1,000 cuts. Consider writing as sculpting. You're not perfecting marble with each chisel strike, but revealing what lies within through patient, focused work. Your first draft is rough-hewn wood or clay barely shaped. We're agents of the infinite, after all, pulling something from nothing, but this sacred act requires undivided attention. Cal Newport's research on attention residue shows that when we switch tasks, fragments of our attention remain stuck on the previous task, creating a mental fog that obscures creative clarity. The modern world conspires against this deep creative work. Algorithms optimize for engagement, not enlightenment. Notifications hijack our dopamine systems, training us to crave interruption. We become consumers of endless content streams, losing our capacity to be creators of original thought. Yet within that chaos lies opportunity. Those who master distraction-free writing gain a superpower, the ability to produce meaningful work while others drown in digital noise. So who and what is the way? Understanding your personal distraction-free writing landscape is the first step toward freedom. Like your writing itself, this won't be perfect on the first draft. Start with the obvious. Phone on silent. A quick check with the family. Ask them, need anything before I disappear for an hour? It's much kinder than demanding isolation. And choosing a space relatively free from chaos. But here's the crucial part. You need to keep a distraction-free writing log. Every interruption, every wandering thought, every urge to check something, note it down. This serves dual purposes. First, it creates awareness of your patterns. And second, it becomes a gentle shield. When someone interrupts you repeatedly and sees you're making another tally mark, they begin to understand the cost of their intrusion without you saying a word. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's research reveals that our nervous system can only process about 110 bits of information per second. Listening to someone speak consumes around 60 bits, which helps explain why we quite literally cannot multitask conversations. Side note. That said, I found this isn't true for everyone in every context. I seem to have a strange situational ability to parse multiple conversations at once, at least with people I'm deeply attuned to. My wife and daughter have learned this over time. Sometimes my wife is speaking, my daughter will interject with a question or thought, and I can track both threads. Occasionally, what we call a unicorn moment, I'll offer a single response that answers both of them. It's a small kind of magic born from deep connection and familiarity. But even that gift has its limits. I would never attempt such cognitive juggling while writing. Writing demands a different kind of attention, one that reaches deeper. Understanding our mental bandwidth reminds us how fragile, how precious our flow states really are. Think of flow as a mountain stream. Each distraction is a disruption of that flow. A notification might be a pebble creating small ripples. A coworker's question could be a fallen branch, temporarily redirecting the water. Social media, that's a beaver dam, completely halting the stream's process. Your goal isn't to eliminate every pebble, that's impossible. It's to maintain enough momentum that the stream finds its way around those obstacles, maintaining its essential flow. Flow research shows that distraction doesn't just interrupt that moment. It can take hours to recover the deep peace of mind necessary for creative work. This is why protecting your writing time isn't selfish, it's essential. You're not just guarding minutes, you're defending a rare mental state that your ancestors took for granted, but we must fight to achieve. And what we need to do is turn routine into ritual. There's a profound difference between routine and ritual. A routine is mechanical. You brush your teeth, you make your coffee, you open your laptop. A ritual is sacred, each action performed with intention. Consider the Japanese tea ceremony, where every moment holds meaning. The cleansing of tools isn't just about hygiene, it's about purifying the mind. The precise whisking of the matcha isn't about efficiency, it's about presence. The ceremony transforms the simple act of serving tea into a meditation on beauty, respect, and mindfulness. Your writing deserves the same reverence. A distraction-free writing ritual does more than signal work time to your brain. It removes the plaque on the soul created by a sweet dopamine drip of algorithms and doom scrolling. Each element of your ritual becomes a conscious rejection of digital fragmentation and an embrace of that singular focus. My own distraction-free writing ritual wasn't engineered. It emerged slowly from repetition. While I can't always begin the same way, when I have the choice, I prefer to start with the strike of a match, lighting a candle, or sometimes a cigar. There's something quietly ceremonial about it. Matches are grounding. The feel of the wood in the hand connects me to the earth. The scrape of the phosphorus against the rough edge is a small, repeatable gesture of intent. Fire is primal. We're drawn to it. The faint scent of sulfur, the flicker of heat, the thin ribbon of smoke. It's not just sensory, it's symbolic. Even the way you shield a match from the wind or breath feels like a part of the ritual, protecting the fragile beginning of something about to grow. Then I unpack my kit, notebook and pen, and device and keyboard, arrange with precision. A small timer replaces the need to glance at a clock, removing one more reason to look away. Finally, 3 deep breaths, my shoulders drop, my mind settles. I begin. This isn't pretension, it's practical neuroscience. Rituals create what are called implementation intentions. These are specific cues that automatically trigger desired behaviors. When you perform your ritual consistently, your brain begins preparing for deep work before you've written a single word. The ritual becomes a gateway, transporting you from scattered digital world to focused realm of creativity. Through ritual, you show respect, not just for writing, but for the part of yourself that writes, the divine spark that transforms thought into language, imagination into story. You're acknowledging that this act matters, that pulling something from nothing deserves ceremony. In a world that treats writing as content to be consumed and discarded, rituals make this sacred work. Covering your senses. Imagine yourself in an absolute void, a universe of perfect blackness and silence. Now add only what you need to write. Paper, pen, desk, chair. Just enough light to see the words forming. This is your baseline, your essential writing environment. Everything else is either supporting or sabotaging your focus. Thinking on your site, E-ink displays reduce eye strain significantly during long writing sessions, but the benefit goes beyond physical comfort. Our modern screens assault us with visual noise, those red notification badges, colorful app icons, and yes, those helpful squiggly lines under every perceived typo and grammar slip. Google, Docs, Chrome, etc. mean well with its real-time corrections, but each red underline is a tiny voice saying, stop creating and start editing. You'll edit later. Practical steps. Transform your devices into digital typewriters. Almost all devices offer a way to switch on color filters and enable grayscale mode. I have keyboard shortcuts for my Macs, and I use specific writing modes on Android. For the ultimate visual simplicity, consider dedicated devices. The FreeWrite Traveler offers a pure writing experience, though it's expensive. My budget solution, a refurbished Boox Go 6 e-reader paired with a compact Bluetooth keyboard, both fit in my jacket pocket, creating a portable, distraction-free writing studio for under $200. Looking for an even less expensive option? You already have a phone, so you're halfway there. Create a setting and pair it with this $35 keyboard, link in the article. You might want a kickstand for your phone, but a book or a coffee cup will do in a pinch. With the grayscale and your foolproof do not disturb settings enabled, you just created a very stripped-down, no-frills writing experience. On sound, the soundscape of writing is deeply personal. Some writers need absolute silence. Others find it oppressive. Studies show that certain types of background sound can actually enhance creativity and focus. But lyrics in a language you understand often compete with the same linguistic processing resources you need for writing. My solution? Movie scores that match my scene's emotional tone. Writing tension? Go with the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack. Want epic scope? Hans Zimmer's Interstellar. For those who enjoy vocals without distraction, try Italian opera or French jazz, unless you're fluent in Italian or French, of course. One unexpected discovery. Pro Walk Tours provide hours of ever-changing ambient sound without repetition. There's a link in the article. Or for complete consistency, try sounds of a creaky wooden pirate ship in a thunderstorm. Oddly specific, yet surprisingly effective. Don't forget about taste, scent, and feel. These often overlooked senses can anchor or distract. A bitter coffee residue can create subtle agitation. The wrong chair can create physical tension that manifests as mental resistance. But when optimized, they become allies. Scent particularly holds power. The science shows that smell connects directly to memory and emotion centers in the brain, capable of instantly transporting us to other times and places. Lighting that match not only grounds me, but it also creates a repeatable pattern that shortens the time to focus. Some writers swear by lavender for calm, eucalyptus for clarity, and tobacco for contemplation. Comfort matters more than aesthetics. That expensive ergonomic chair means nothing if it doesn't fit your body. Keep adjusting, experimenting, and iterating until you feel nothing but your fingers across the keys or paper. Don't forget about your soul. The deepest distractions aren't external. They're the anxieties, applications, and unfinished thoughts swirling in your head. Paradoxically, the best way to unplug completely is to ensure you can be reached in true emergencies. When your child's school can bypass Do Not Disturb, when your team knows how to reach you if servers crash, you're free to ignore everything else without guilt. Additionally, consider meditation. It has been transformative for me. 10 minutes of morning meditation reveals the mental chatter I'd otherwise carry into my writing. You see the worries, acknowledge them, and set them aside. Yes, I see you quarterly reports. You can wait an hour. No mind. Miyamoto Musashi understood something profound about mastery, the state the Zen tradition calls mushin, or no mind. Mushin is the condition in which thought and action become one, where instinct replaces deliberation and movement arises from resistance. Musashi wrote that mastery comes from understanding natural rhythm and not forcing action, but moving with inevitability and flow. In his book of 5 Rings, he explains this harmony further. The true way of strategy is the way of nature. When you appreciate the power of nature, knowing the rhythm of any situation, you will be able to hit the enemy naturally and strike naturally. Through practice, we build not just skill, but instinct. Initially, you need perfect conditions, your ritual, your tools, your sacred space, but with time and repetition, something magical happens. The ritual internalizes. The focus becomes portable. Eventually, you'll find yourself able to drop into flow anywhere, on a crowded train, in a noisy cafe, even once I discovered in a hospital waiting room. This isn't about becoming impervious to distraction. It's about building such strong creative habits that they become your default state. When distraction-free writing becomes instinct rather than effort, you've achieved no mind, action without thought, creation without resistance. The path from scattered attention to deep focus isn't easy, but it's necessary. In an age where digital detoxes improve attention spans and reverse years of cognitive decline, reclaiming your ability to focus isn't just about productivity, it's about reclaiming our full human capacity for thought and creativity. But that work becomes infinitely more powerful when we create the conditions for our deepest talents to emerge. Strip away the digital noise. Honor your craft with ritual. Optimize your environment, and watch as your writing transforms from struggle to flow. The page awaits. Clean and infinite. You have everything you need. Begin. I'm going to leave you with one last quote. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and get to work. Stephen King on writing a memoir on the craft. My name is Jesse Friedman, and thank you for listening to this week's blog. If you found it motivating, inspiring, or just plain liked it, consider subscribing to my channel or signing up for my newsletter for more posts like these. I'll see you Monday for the next one.